Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. We're back on the local auction used car lot. You have this 2017 Ford Escape that apparently has very weak brakes. That's the customer complaint. They said something's wrong with the parking brake. Park brake limited function, service required. You got the brake light blinking. That orange light stays on all the time. Here's a full code scan. Let's see what we got. So, save this in a report. Open it up. ABS, left motor, electric parking brake enable, parking brake left actuator, license plate lamp, cam position timing, and okay, well that's what we have. Let's start this thing up, warm it up, see what's going on. I don't know if the brakes are locked up or has weak brakes. Auction cars, #1 check, engine oil. Ew. Looks like black sludge, but as long as there's something in it, we can run it. See what happens. Let's start it up here. At least it runs. Oh, a lot of blue smoke there. Oh. And it's stalled out. Okay, I don't know if that's normal. Do we have fuel? We do have fuel. I'm just gonna rev it up. Runs like garbage. 128,000 miles. This has the 1.5 liter EcoBoost. It's probably time for it to blow up. We'll see where this goes. Alright, so I'm stepping on the brake pedal. It feels ultra stiff. Let's put it in gear. And I have to press the brake really hard to make it stop. Like there's no assist for the brakes. And then obviously that's all blinky. So how do these brakes work? What's the brake assist system? That's a turbo engine. So just do a quick visual inspection here. So there's the master cylinder and brake booster. And this looks like the vacuum line going to the brake booster from a dedicated vacuum pump. Interesting. Let's see, can we rip this cover off here? There's the vacuum pump. So, is the vacuum pump spinning? Is the vacuum pump making any vacuum? Well, let's just quick and dirty. Let me get this connector off. And we'll see if there's a vacuum at the pump. So, vacuum line is off, and there's absolutely nothing going on with this vacuum pump. Well, that's a problem. You can try to apply vacuum here with another source and see if the booster works. That's problem #1, and the parking brake, that's a completely separate issue. So I found an interesting data pit in the PCM. Brake booster pressure as vacuum. It's at 0 right now. So I want to just hook up a manual vacuum pump and pump that booster up to see if it holds and if the brake pedal, is easier to depress, and then we'll just call the vacuum pump for that problem. Alright, so just got a little vacuum pump connected to this hose here that goes to the booster. Pumping it up. It is building vacuum. I mean, it might have some volume, so it'll take quite a few pumps. But check it out. The pressure sensor indeed works. Let's see if the pedal now feels any different. Should be easier to push, and let's see what happens to our vacuum. Yes, it drops right away. Okay, so definitely bad vacuum pump for the brake assist. Alright, so I went ahead and cleared all the codes out, did a key off, key on. Seems to rev a little better. And code scan again. Now we have two codes left. ABS C2006 left actuator. So that's the code that's setting the blinky parking brake, limited function. This doesn't work. And then fuel rail system pressure 2 low, bank 1. Okay, didn't see that code before, but I don't know if that has anything to do with anything at all, or if the vacuum pump is affecting the fuel pressure somehow. I'm not sure how the system's laid out, but the customer complaint is this parking brake and the loss of brake assist. So let's look up this code, some wiring diagrams on all data, and go from there. Alright, so in the ABS bidirectional control, I'm doing the supply and release test, and check it out. We have sounds here. Function completed. Let's try that again. I thought I heard. Okay. This one keeps spinning and not doing anything. And this one, I think, activated. And did its thing. So that actuator is probably broken on the left side. Okay. Alright, so after trying to perform that calibration test, the in and out, the left actuator kept spinning, and look, we actually have a code, C2006, left actuator slip. So, indeed, mechanically, it's busted and you can't, move the brake pad, so looks like it needs a vacuum pump for the brake booster and a left rear parking brake actuator motor. That's it for this Ford Escape. Oh, and it definitely needs an oil change. That oil looked terrible. Well, it must be Ford day at the auction lot. 2014 Ford Mustang. Customer complaint is none of the buttons on the center stack work. The radio is just on, the blower is just on, nothing works, no volume, nothing. So, code scan, lost communication with front controls interface module. So HVAC, EPAM, audio, so front controls interface module. That's what we're after. So I saved that. FCIM, front controls interface module. We need a wiring diagram. They said they checked the fuse, but obviously we need to check it ourselves. FCIM. Let's go take a look. Alright, looking up some wiring diagrams. It's a little confusing where to look for this front control interface module. So I'm looking up sound systems, sync radio circuit, and the redrawn. And front controls interface module right there, FCM, lower end of dash, or FCIM. So it's on the medium speed can, and there's power and a ground. So let's follow the power wire. Hot at all times, fuse 14. Smart junction box, right kick panel. Okay. What else does that fuse feed? Because if other modules are online that are on that fuse, well, maybe it's not blown. So we have global positioning system module, which looks like it's happy. So that looks like it's powered up. And then, let's see, where else does this go? It goes to the front display interface module without navigation, center of dash, and front display interface module. It says battery voltage is too low. Let's just clear all these out. So APAM, that's a hard fault, lost communication with front controls interface module. So I have a feeling we have to take off this FCIM, so basically take this dash out. Front console upper trim panel does not need to be removed. Selector bezel must be removed by prying upward on the bezel with non-marring tool. Front console upper trim panel upward, then backward to disengage the clips. Okay. Pry the floor console upper trim panel upward and then backward. So take that off. Remove 2 screws from the bottom of the center console IPC finish panel. Pry the center instrument panel finish out. Let's do that. Move the 15 screws or 11 screws at the FCIM to install reverse procedure. So let's get a view of this FCIM. Once we pull it back, we can check for powers and grounds on the back side here without, you know, removing 15 screws. So let's do that. Alright, so we got this front control interface module pulled back. Pretty easy, just take all this crap off and 2 screws down here. And sure enough, it just has a 4-pin connector. So this should be pretty straightforward. And again, the pins are, 1 is battery positive, 2 and 3 are communication, and 4 is a ground. So let's check power and ground first. From the cigarette lighter, I'm just grabbing power and ground through these leads, and here's a test light. So always make sure your equipment works. So for example, if I find a power here with my test light, with my probe, the light will come on. So let's check pin 1, brown and red. Pin 1, sure enough, test light comes on. So the fuse is good, the power is good. Let's move the test light to battery power now and check the ground. So you always want to have a good, known good power and ground before you check powers and grounds. So test light lights up if I find the ground. Let's check that black wire. Yep, powers and grounds check out just fine. Now we need a scope on the communication wires, and if those check out, then this whole freaking board is just dead. And this is what is going to kill modern cars, is discontinued parts. You know, electrical specialized specific parts, modules, that kind of stuff. You know, the car might run fine, but you don't have any HVAC or radio controls. Let's check those communication wires real quick with a scope, and we should be done. Alright, we've got the Pico hooked up, 2 channels, medium speed, low and high side. So they're both at 0 right now, they're asleep. I put the key in, boom, wakes up, 2.5 volt bias, up and down, just fine. Let me turn the key on. Okay, key is on. Still can't control anything. Power and ground is good. We can zoom in. Communication's fine. That's it. Broken board. So stupid. Oh my gosh. Yep. So we're done. Save that as a known good. Needs a new board. We'll take a picture of the part number and then get this thing fixed up. Maybe eBay. I don't know. 2014. I've seen modules discontinued for like a 2016 GM. It's really getting ridiculous. But thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.